Dave Weinberg is with us, press of Atlantic City. Our fun question of the day was one of those questions I like to ask, somebody of who would you go see if you had a chance to, it could be a dead or alive artist or group, and I could say, here's 4 front row tickets tomorrow for this concert. Who's on your bucket list of who you would want to see, of your artist or group out there?
Dead or alive.
Yeah.
It's not Bruce Springsteen. I'm not one of the 97%.
Right, I heard that. Right. Neither was John McMullen.
Yep, there you go.
You went with the Stones.
I actually saw my dream dream concert a couple years ago with the Eagles at Boardwalk Hall. That was I really wanted to see them. My wife's a big fan as well. We kind of grew up on their music, and then to be fortunate enough to see them before Glenn Frey passed away, that was a real special experience.
I remember that show. That was excellent. I had seen the Eagles twice actually since I've been down here. I saw them at Borgata, where they played Borgata like on a Thursday-Saturday deal.
Oh, wow.
And it's funny because I remember saying to somebody who did PR for Borgata at the time, was it because of their age? Like they just couldn't recover from the show? Yes. Yes. Very good, Columbo. Yeah, you get the point. Okay. I said to Dave, was it because he says, no, they had some private gig in New York where they were making $1 bajillion, and that's why they went and did the gig. So it had nothing to do with like their age or anything like that.
I think they did one at Revel also. Right.
So, but I saw him at Borgata, then I saw him in that show at Boardwalk Hall. And you're right about Glenn Frey. It's funny, they played Citizens Bank Park last summer, and we went and saw him there, and they had his son Deacon fill in on some of his parts. And he definitely sounded a lot like him, and it was enjoyable to see him, but you were missing Glenn Frey a little bit. You forget what an influential voice he was for the band.
I kind of want to see Aerosmith, but I'm not paying $450. So.
No, that was a DC connection for me back in the day too. I saw him at Borgata back when Dave was the king of the Borgata. Okay. Yeah, that was a good time. But anyhow,
the other one's Stevie Wonder. I haven't seen him yet. I really want to see him.
Oh, that's a good one that hasn't been brought up.
Didn't he just take a break or something?
I think he needs a kidney transplant.
Right,
yeah,
right. Yeah. So he stayed, but he announced it like in the middle of a set.
Like
he was on the stage. No better
casually announcing.
Right. Oh, by the way.
Needing a kidney. Yeah.
Crazy. Hey, buddy. It's good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for being here.
We're happy to have the unofficial mayor. This is becoming
well, at least you're calling it Beach Drive now. That's a good step.
Yep, Beach Drive. I got that train down. I came in the correct way this time too. Although I had to, go slow through the pedestrians on the Washington Street Mall there. Can't be taking anybody out. But sometimes I like to make that left to just kind of see the whole coastline.
Sure.
As I come in, other times you just want the more direct route.
Yep.
Oh God, where did you park? Or did you take the bike? Or did you walk here?
Plenty of quarters.
Okay. Good,
nice.
Because I don't want Mike Gill on.
Well, last time we did this, we both had bad luck.
Right.
That's right.
We both got tickets, so we're doing good today.
Now, did that ever get resolved, by the way?
What's that?
Did that ever get adjudicated or resolved?
I was going to try, but I wound up just paying it because I didn't have the time to fight it.
Dave Weinberg. There should be like a placard that says, "This is Dave Weinberg's
Yeah, where's my my parking spot?
You need free parking anywhere in town.
Absolutely.
Nonetheless, Dave, I want to get into, you have an article today. I believe it's in the paper for AC, Press of AC. Blackjacks.
Thank you to the photographer, by the way. Great picture of 97.3 ESPN.
There you go.
That was awesome.
I know you don't control the pictures, but thank you for that.
Also, a little bit lower on the front page, you will see a gentleman holding up a fence sign. That is me. I am in the background.
Okay. Defense.
You made your paper debut.
I've been in the paper a few times,
Listen,
but
you're
yes, that was my
nothing until you're in the newspaper, in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm nothing.
Until you're in the newspaper.
No, I'm joking. But Dave Weinberg's article on the Blackjacks titled "Blackjacks End First Season with 35-28 Loss to Baltimore," and yesterday, Dave, talking about just that game in particular. I didn't know what to expect because the team's eliminated officially from playoff contention going into yesterday's game. It's on a Sunday, which was the first time a game was played on a Sunday at Boardwalk Hall this season at 4 p.m. There's a lot of variables where you're saying to yourself, there could be a lot of empty seats in Boardwalk Hall, and that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like you. I didn't think that I was expecting, maybe 1,000 fans, but to see over 6,000 there was very encouraging. I know there's some people that would argue, well, how many paid, how many didn't, but to me, that's irrelevant.
I agree.
This first season is all about building the brand, getting them out in the community, getting people interested, And however you're able to do that, whether it's giving away tickets or whatever, I'm all for it. And to see the fans turn up last night was very encouraging, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Considering the circumstances.
Agree. I thought yesterday was a success, and looking at the season as a whole, for me, I say success.
Yep, I do too.
What do you say? You say success?
Obviously, on the field, no.
Right.
But when actually, I just got done talking to Ron Jaworski about half an hour ago. That's why it was kind of late to get in here. But
all right, good excuse.
We'll
accept that.
He was saying that when you go down, when you're playing your third and fourth string quarterbacks who have practiced 3 times, been here less than a week, been out of the game for a couple of years, to expect them to come in and deliver was a little too much to expect, really.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed overall in the season on the field. I thought the defense didn't play. I don't think they played very well.
There's not much defense at all in that league.
True. That's true.
Still, certain moments you can make a play.
Yeah, if you're going to put up 50-plus points, you should be able to at least, hang in there, I think. And to have like a 4-8 record, I thought was kind of disappointing. However, off the field or in the stands, I was beyond encouraged and pleased with the way things went. I wasn't really. In the beginning of the year that I was kind of. Not pessimistic, but skeptical. Yeah, that's a good one.
I knew what word you were going for.
There you go. Skeptical, yes.
Now,
that's a good one. Cautiously optimistic. And but between you and I and your listeners, I really wasn't expecting that much, given the history of sports in Atlantic City. But the fact that they averaged over 5,000 fans for their 6 home games, including over 6,000 for their last 2, that was a pleasant surprise, and that gives me hope that maybe this will be the team that will be able to stick and grow and become a part of the Atlantic City sports landscape.
Yeah, that's what I was going to follow up with is, do you think the area bought in? And I don't mean the entire area, but just enough for it to be long-term. Like how much of it is, and I'm not trying to be negative because my opinion is it was a success and I believe it can be moving forward. But do you think there was any smoke and mirrors involved with this first season, or do you think the area wasn't bought in at all? To
a degree, maybe. They got off to a late start this year. I mean, the team wasn't even announced until February, so they were kind of behind the 8 ball right away. I think next year will kind of be the telltale sign where they have a full year to promote, to market, to build, and get everybody involved. And that if they can do it next year, then I'll be like Jaworski was optimistically predicting that they'll have 10,000 fans per game. But he's pretty much a glass 3/4 full kind of guy
all the time.
So I don't know if that's a possibility, but if they can draw 6,000-7,000 next year, I think that's going to be and just keep building on that. Then I think it'll be a success. But I think next year's kind of the one that's going to tell the tale.
The true test, for sure.
Dave, you mentioned the defense a little bit, but what was your overall take on the product itself and the speed of the game? I call it like fast break football, basically. The running clock. There's a lot of things I think to like about it, including the fact that the games aren't really that long. You can go in a couple hours. It's not a 4.5-hour baseball game. It's not a 5-hour round of golf you got to watch or anything like that.
True.
It's pretty quick and high paced.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan coming into this, to be honest. I had been to a couple Arena League games. I'd been to the Soul game at Boardwalk Hall a couple years ago, which lasted over 3 hours. But the changes that the league has made to speed up the game, and people have this misnomer that it's not a high-quality brand of football. You have guys that have been in NFL training camps. You have guys who played for major colleges, and for whatever reason, maybe their 40 time just was a tenth too slow, or they're a half an inch too short of what they're looking for in a wide receiver. But these guys can play, and I was beyond impressed with the quality of the game, the speed of the game, like you mentioned, the excitement of the game. I had a blast covering them, to be honest with you, and I'm looking forward to next year.
How about your impressions of their coach? Because the first time that I got to sit in on one of his press conferences, and I had asked him a question about just a pretty innocent question, I thought, about the facilities at Boardwalk Hall and the history of the building and stuff, and he had taken the time, Dave, to go out and read the inscription outside the building, and I was just impressed that he seems to both be a thoughtful guy, but a guy that his players are loyal to, because I didn't realize this. Every year in the Arena League, they're on one-year contracts, so their decision as to whether or not they're going to come back or not, a lot of that has to do, it's coach-driven. Like, I liked playing for that guy, I'm going to go play for that guy again. Yeah,
that was the case with the Blackjacks, definitely. I think I was probably at least 3/4 of the roster had some sort of background with Ron James, and he's I was pretty impressed with him too. He's good at his job. He, like you said, he took the time to get to know the community, get to know South Jersey, the Atlantic City area, and actually that's one of the reasons why Ron hired him. He knew that he'd be the kind of guy who would get involved in some of the off-the-field stuff too, the radio show that he does every week.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to do. I guess maybe he does have to do that. I don't know, but
he's went above and beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually had people come up and tell me that just without even bringing it up. They say, I see the Blackjacks like somewhere different every week.
Yep.
Like they're at schools, they're at different establishments in the community, and he made a point of that. The very first press conference I was at Boardwalk Hall, before they even had the name Blackjacks.
Right.
He said, my number one priority is getting in the community.
Sure.
And you hear that a lot.
Of course.
Right? And you're like, all right, let's see what happens. He followed through.
No, they did it, and even that was his priority with the players too. I mean, of course, they had to be able to play the game, but he wanted to make sure that they were a part of the community. Like you said, they got out to the schools and various other civic organizations and made their presence felt. And I thought almost all the players bought into that, and that's what gives me hope for the future there. I think that they're really invested. We're all in, so to speak, is their hashtag, and they're actually trying to live up to that, and it's good to see.
It really is great to see. Dave Weinberg joining us here live on the Sports Bash at the Marquis de Lafayette Barefoot Beach Bar. We just got a bunch of food
it
in
looks
front
delicious,
of us.
and it smells fantastic too. Whew. Hey, before I forget, the Cody Stashak story is a nice one that's breaking last night and today. Kid that played at Oakcrest, and then played for Keith Thurman out there. I think I first saw Nick Cuba, your guy at the Press of Atlantic City. Or maybe Keith retweeted it, but it's been coming out, and I just think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kid who wasn't a so-called superstar in high school. He was an outfielder, pitched a little bit, went to Cumberland County College. He was part of Keith Gorman's first recruiting class, and Keith convinced him how to be a pitcher. That was his ticket to if he wanted to go further with his career, and went to St. John's, and then took off from there. But he's not a so-called stud. He wasn't a first-round pick. I think he got drafted in like the 5th, 13th round or something like that by Minnesota. But he's just the perfect example of a kid who made the most out of his ability. He's a so-called late bloomer who worked his butt off to get the most of what he had. And congratulations to him. He's finally getting a shot with the Minnesota Twins.
Dave Weinberg with us live at the Barefoot Beach Bar. You're going to stay with us, I know.
Here on a beautiful Monday, man. Nice little breeze. Sun is out. People are at the bar eating, drinking, having a good time. So, Dave, I know you're a big boxing guy. You've covered it for a very long time. I know you followed it as a fan as well.
Yes,
I don't mean to make you sound 100. I'm just saying,
I'm pretty close. That's all right.
You've been around the block. And
a couple times.
The narrative, so the Pacquiao-Thurman fight on Saturday night. The narrative, I think, leading up to it, and now since the fight has taken place, is, oh yeah, Pacquiao won. Obviously, that's expected. That's the average fan. That's the narrative from the average fan. Oh, Pacquiao won, yeah, of course. And for me, this is a big win for Manny Pacquiao.
Huge,
it is huge, and I don't think majority of people understand the level of the magnitude of that the win was.
Right. Very
Thurman
true.
is younger. He's stronger. He's been in 5 or 6 title fights. He's the guy right now. He's legit. This isn't some tomato can in Australia. This guy is the real deal.
Right.
And he, quote unquote, turned back the clocks, Manny Pacquiao, and came out in the first round swinging, literally.
Yep,
he has an unorthodox style, and I think he got Thurman on his heels, and the rest is history. So I just want your thoughts and analysis of the fight.
It's that showboat earlier in the evening, and a guy, a longtime boxing fan, came up and had said that he couldn't understand why Pacquiao was the favorite at the sports book. And I said, well, I don't know, because I think Thurman's going to destroy him.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even expect it to go like 5 rounds. I said, there's no doubt in my mind that Thurman's going to win. And Manny made an idiot out of me and a bunch of other people too. He just, yeah, he's got this amazing ability that when just when you think you're ready to count him out, you think he's done, he finds a way to reinvent himself, and that's exactly what he did Saturday night. I mean, he was the Manny Pacquiao of 10 years ago. When he was arguably one of the top 5 pound for pound guys in the world, and yeah, he put on a clinic. It was pretty impressive.
He really did, and it shocked me. One, I was in the same mindset as you, that I had Thurman winning by knockout maybe in the 8 to 10 round. Like, I thought Manny would come out strong through 3 to 5, and then Thurman would overpower him eventually. Right. Not the case.
No, not at all. Yeah, he was on his game the whole time.
Now what for Manny Pacquiao?
Boy, that's the thing. I hear people kind of float this Mayweather fight again, but I don't want to see that. And
that pisses me off.
Yeah,
it really does.
I mean, Mayweather has absolutely no, aside from the millions that he would make, he's got absolutely nothing to gain by that. And
money, that's all he cares about.
Right, that's true. But it's going to end the same way the last one did. Mayweather will frustrate him, will outbox him, and cruise to a decision again. I mean, I don't think much of the guy as a person, but as a fighter, there's nobody in his class. He's just not. There never will be.
Right.
And I guess there's other guys out there. Maybe Crawford would be a possibility. I don't know if he could handle that, but Manny's put himself back on the map again, which is good to see. And boxing needs stuff like that too. I mean, it is starting to come back. There's more and more guys are starting to gain attention and prove themselves, but once in a while you do need the guy that the casual fan knows, and to have him have some success, that's going to get people excited by the fight game again.
Crawford's the Omaha kid, right?
Yeah, Terrence Crawford. Yep.
Yeah, because a guy that I worked with in Omaha started covering him just like Golden Gloves, Golden Gloves. Excuse me, Globes. I'm mixing Hollywood and boxing, right?
This is
Golden Gloves when he first started coming up through the youth ranks or something like that. But you say too, he's not a guy that fills Madison Square Garden yet, or is he a big enough name, Crawford, now in boxing?
To a serious boxing fan, yes, but to the casual guy, probably not. So, if he were to fight Manny and beat him decisively, which he probably would, although I thought that Thurman would too. So, but then that would probably put him on the map too, and make him one of the guys that people would be interested in.
All right, the unofficial mayor, Dave. Thanks for coming by.
Now you can have that chip.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you better get into some chips.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Dave Weinberg, everybody, Press of Atlantic City.